you keep saying, and it's the common perception, and I'm not even saying I disagree with you, but you keep saying definitively that the Peyton Thorne exit is maybe even a positive, at worst, a lateral move. We don't know that.
So
we have not seen these other two guys play.
So here's the other thing of it, though.
Thorne could be better.
Let's say that Thorne is a little bit better. You will agree he wasn't a lot better than anyone else in the quarterback room, even if we haven't seen him play, correct?
How can I say that?
Okay.
I've seen you throw as many passes as I have Hauser, and Kim is garbage time. I mean, they might be Joe Montana. It's not a negative thing. I just don't know what I haven't seen. So and neither do you.
Fine. So that's fair. The point I was going to make is, let's say that the team would have won one more game than they're going to win now had Thorne stayed. Even then, to me, this quarterback that's going to play is here for 2-3 more years. I would still have made that trade, even if you told me that Thorne was a little bit better than these two guys, for the long-term health of the program. Because let's say if they would have gone 8-4 with Thorne, 7-5 without Thorne, I'm taking that and playing one of those two younger guys still. Even if it is true that Thorne is somehow a little better than them.
What if Thorne's a lot better?
I will just I'd
be surprised.
That.
I'd be surprised.
Right.
I talked to guys on the team too. I'm just saying we don't know. I mean, everyone thought Keith Nichol was going to walk over Kirk Cousins for that quarterback job back in the day. Didn't happen. We just don't know. And look, I'm not saying that Thorne is better. I'm saying I have no clue. I just the absolute certainty that people say. I've been known, to be fair, as a little bit of a Thorne apologist, and for the record, Hauser's kind of my horse in the race. He's kind of like the guy that I'm rooting for all of them, but I just happen to think has the best profile and I think is the best upside play. So with that said, Thorne does have the touchdown record at this school for individual season, does he not? Did he not produce pretty good numbers 2 years ago? Were his numbers that bad last year with all the things that were bad around him?
To me, it's more of mechanics than stats.
Well, I'm not saying stats are the end all be all, but you look at this guy, and even if you get into more of his advanced stats, which I will put people to sleep if I start studying that shit. No, there's no reflection. There's nothing you can look at that says he was world beater. He's great, but he was above average nationally in even in the Power Five. Like there's 5 quarterbacks in the conference that were worse. I'm not so sure that this guy was so bad and we've moved on and everything will be better. I think Keaton Hauser is a better football player, probably, just based on conversations I've had, their pedigree, the perceptions around them. But it's a leap of faith for anybody. You don't know, I don't know, and nobody out there knows.
Fair.
Not even the players know. Game settings are different, man.
This is true.
We don't know what these guys are going to be like.
I would say Noah Kim plays better in game settings than practice, and already the thought
seems
that
way.
Better. But
yeah,
but I would say that's fair. But at this point, I think people should be ready to take that leap of faith, or I should speak for myself. I would be ready to take that leap of faith based on what I had seen from Peyton Thorne's mechanics over the last 2 years and the way the arrow was pointing.
Fair. And there's a little bit of devil's advocate, but I'm not just being contrarian. I do wonder, like, if there's going to be a clear upgrade, even if it's not massive, but it's clear and definitive, that's going to be a pretty damn impressive season statistically. I have to pull it up. What was Thorne last year? Like 17 and 10 picks or something? Like, it wasn't atrocious. I'd have to look it up. But, like, I mean, if you're going to be a lot better, clearly better than that, you're going to be back into, like, 2021 Thorne territory statistically. I just think it's a high bar to clear to be like, clearly what an upgrade. You think I'm off the reservation on that one?
I just think that there were so many throws looking at it from the angle up top from the box that even completed throws, there were so many throws in the middle of the field where if he would have come off the first read, there's a Daniel Barker running right down the middle on a seam against Wisconsin, one of Thorne's better games. There's just so many chances out there that you can say that the second the defense dropped more than basically any game where K9 didn't go off. I know I'm kind of repeating myself. Any time where K9 didn't go off and they were playing a base defense because the D-line was able to control K9, the mechanics were just not there. The reads were not being gone through in the way that you need to pick apart Big Ten defenses. and the footwork was completely different than when Thorne knew the second he's getting the ball, he's getting one-on-one matchups with Naylor and Reed in 2021. It was just different. That quarterback was not the quarterback that we were going to get again unless K9 was back there again and teams were putting 6, 7, 8 guys in the box.
All very fair. And those were criticisms that, I mean, every NFL scout on record it seems to be in alignment with you.
And let me give the counterpoint of why maybe Kim might not be great this year, because I don't want to just make it seem like I do believe that the gap is not big enough that people should be fretting about Thorne, but I also don't think that, oh, you plug in Kim, suddenly he's looking so much better. Every time we have seen Kim in the spring game, and every time we have seen him in the garbage time games, defenses are playing, first of all, in low-stakes situations, sometimes backups, and they are definitely playing, including the spring game, basic shell defense, so they're not giving anything away. In garbage time, teams do that just because they don't want to overcomplicate things with guys that don't play a lot together. So it is very different circumstances than you will see him play in possibly this year if he wins the job. So he's not going to be able to lead a touchdown drive every single time he goes on the field, like pretty much every time we watch him play football. So I do expect that to go down a little bit. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. I just still think that the leap of faith is just so worth it to see what we saw last year again.